I'm a member of Sir Optimus International of Cambridge.
We're an organization that's dedicated to improving the lives of girls and women locally, nationally, and internationally.
We help establish new programs, assistance for education, and financial assistance to help women improve their lives and career opportunities.
Dream It Be It is a program specifically dedicated to helping high school girls get access to career education, resources, and mentors who can help to guide them through their career journey.
We know that 2020 and onward has been really difficult for everybody, difficult for us too. We know it's also hard to look at the future for your career when you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Sometimes you just need to take a step back and have some fun too.
We all need to feel good about ourselves during COVID. We want to give you a chance to forget about the things that are going on right now.
Many amazing women have volunteered their time to talk about their career journeys.
They've also given us videos and some fun activities ranging from no baking, yoga, relaxation techniques, makeup, and skincare and exercise.
Gather your friends, virtually for now, and try out some of the activities together. Have some fun. We want to help you feel good about yourself during COVID.
Morning guys, my name's Alicia and I work at Cheersport Sharks. I also work as a freelance makeup artist and I went to school for that as well. So today I'm going to take you through my morning skincare routine as well as a good makeup look that you can use for a job interview or a professional setting. Skincare is so important, especially these days when we have to wear masks all day. Acne and skin problems can be a little bit more prevalent in a lot of girls and men as well, but it is so important to take care of your skin. I really suggest washing your face in the morning and at night. I have been doing that for almost my whole life. My mom was really advocate about making sure that I did that as a kid as well. So I appreciate that, and it is so important to make sure that you're not going to bed with makeup on. You are washing everything off from the day, and at the beginning of the day, making sure you start with a nice clean face. My skincare routine doesn't take very long, 5 to 10 minutes. My nightly skincare routine is a little bit longer than my morning. In the morning, I normally just wash my face and then moisturize. I have drier skin, so I'm going to use a cream-based cleanser. If you have oily or acne-prone skin, you might want to use a foam cleanser. That normally helps a little bit more, but like I said, I'm going to use a cream-based cleanser because I have drier skin. So I'm going to show you how I wash my face and moisturize, and yeah. Now that I've cleansed my skin, I'm going to moisturize. If my skin's really dry, in the winter it gets a little bit more dry, I'll use a hydrating serum. I use this one. As well as a moisturizer, just for a little bit of that extra moisture. It is getting closer to summertime, so today I'm just going to use my moisturizer. I just use an Aveeno moisturizer. It has an SPF in it, so it's really great if you're going out in the sun. It's always important to protect your skin, even in the winter months. The sun is very strong, and it will help you age better. You'll appreciate it when you're older. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand, and apply it. You want to apply it really gently. You don't want to rub your skin too hard. Apply a good layer. All over your face. A lot of younger women are scared to moisturize their face because they feel like it makes them break out, but your skin actually will react the opposite way. So when you don't moisturize your face, it produces more oil, which makes you break out more because your skin is dehydrated. So it's very important to find the right moisturizer and stick to a routine so your skin gets used to it. And that's it for my morning routine. I will apply a primer when I do my makeup, but that's all that I put on my skin in the morning. Again, I said that I do put a serum on as well sometimes, just for a little bit of extra moisture, but that is it. Super easy, super fast. Especially with wearing masks, guys, it's so important to wash off all of the impurities throughout the day. I like to sometimes bring a wipe, like a face wipe with a cleanser in it, just to wipe my face throughout the day if I'm not wearing makeup. If you're wearing makeup, obviously you can't really do that, it'll wash off your makeup, but try and make sure you're either washing your masks regularly, almost every day, if you use the reusable ones. If you just use the one-time use masks, make sure you're only using them one time and you get a new mask every day. Okay guys, so now that my skin is cleansed and ready for makeup, we're gonna get started. I also have a lip balm on just so my lips are ready for lipstick when we get to that later. I'm gonna start with just a primer. It's a Maybelline one. You can get it at Shoppers, super cheap. Just put that on the back of my hand and apply. The makeup look I'll be doing for today is one that you can use for any professional setting. So if you're going for a job interview, you probably don't want to try and use the brightest colors that you've ever tried to use, or try the winged eyeliner for the first time. Stick to things that you know how to do and that are a little bit more subtle. You don't want to be overwhelming when you go to a job interview. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand and apply that all over my face. The primer will just help to set your foundation a little bit better and for it to apply easier. Good. All right, now your skin is ready for foundation. I just started using the Eyebrow foundation. Eyebrow really has great ingredients in their products, and I find that it feels nice on your face, especially if you're going to have it on for a long time. So I would suggest to invest in a good foundation. It's something that goes directly on your skin. You're going to be wearing it for a long time, so a good foundation can really help with things like breakouts. So again, I'm going to use a clean brush. Make sure you're cleaning your brushes very often. If you're going to use a good foundation and not a clean brush, you might as well just not use a good foundation. So again, I'm going to put a little bit of the foundation on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to use the brush to apply it. Lots of people like using beauty blenders. I like using brushes just because they're easier to clean. I find that beauty blenders are impossible to clean. You can never get them fully clean. This foundation has really great coverage as well for how light it feels. And make sure you're doing underneath your chin as well so it blends into your neck. You don't want your foundation to stop and have a really nice line right there. just blend it in nicely. And if you have any problem areas, you can always just put a little bit more on those areas. I find putting a little bit of foundation on my eyelids helps my eyeshadow to apply easier. It works just as well as a eyeshadow primer. All right, so there you go, foundation done. You can use concealer under your eyes, on top of any problem areas that you might have, just to even out your skin tone even more. You want your concealer to be maybe 1 to 2 shades lighter than your foundation. You can also use a concealer that's the exact same shade as your foundation, or mix it a little bit with your foundation if you want to use it in the middle of your cheek, say if you have a pimple there. So I'm just using a Smashbox one. So I'm just going to take that and put a little bit under my eye where you see the gray or blue areas, and the other eye. And I like to use my finger at first and then go in with a beauty blender for my concealer. It just warms up the product a little bit and makes it blend. Just lightly tap it in. And then I'll go in with my beauty blender. And do the same on the other side. Good. Next, you want to set your foundation and your concealer. So you want to use a powder. I'm going to use a loose powder first and then go in with a pressed powder. So I'm going to use this Arbonne translucent setting powder. And then I'll go in with a little fluffy brush, put a little bit on your brush. And I like to set underneath my eye first because that's the first part that normally starts to crease. So you want to set it as soon as you're done applying it. So just go in with a little powder underneath, dab it on. You want to try not to swipe too hard because that will make lines with the brush. And then I like to set some areas of my face that I find get a little bit oily quickly with the loose powder first. So I'll do just by my hairline, likes to get greasy. And then at the sides of my nose. Just wherever you find that your skin tends to get oily first. And I also like to set my eyelids with that loose powder because those like to crease as well. So that foundation that you put on your eyelids at the beginning, you can set that right away. And that will make your eyeshadow apply smoothly. And that's all I do for the loose powder. And then I'll go in with a pressed powder. I'm using a MAC pressed powder. It has a little bit of a shimmer to it just because I like a more glowy look. And I'm going to go in with a bigger fluffy brush and just apply that all over my face. remember to set your underneath your chin and your neck as well. And that's it for my foundation and my powder. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of bronzer, or contour if you like to call it that. I'm going to use the Arbonne bronzing palette. There are 4 different shades. Depending on your skin tone, I like to use the bottom corner one here, the Meteor shade, and then the Stardust shade. These ones are just a little bit more pinky, so you would use those if you were more of a fair-skinned skin tone. So I'm using just a fluffy angled brush to go in along my cheekbones here. Depending on the shape of your face, you want to contour in different areas. So I have more of a longer oval face, so I'm going to keep my contour kind of right on, or maybe even a little bit above my cheekbones. If you find that you have a more round or square face, you can go a little bit lower with your contour to help elongate your face. So I'm going to go in with that Meteor shade. Just put a little bit on my brush and put it right above my cheekbone here. And do the same on the other side. And make sure you're really blending it in using circular motions. It's never good when you have a nice line right here that's not blended. Not too much, a little goes a long way. I'm also going to take that same shade and go in right along my hairline. Again, I find that I have a little bit of a bigger forehead. If you have a smaller forehead, you probably won't want to do this because it'll make it look even smaller. And contouring is totally up to you. You don't have to do any contouring if you don't like. I just like to do a little bit just to highlight certain areas of my face. And I'm still using that same shade. I'm going to make my brush a little bit skinnier, and I'm going to go in along the sides of my nose here. And the same on the other side. And then just a little bit underneath my chin. Again, make sure you're really blending it into your neck. And then I'm going to go in with that Starburst shade. It's just a little bit more shimmery. And I'm going to go just above where I put the other shade of bronzer to give it a little bit of shimmer and highlight. It's nice for the summer. And that's it for that. Some people like to do their eyeshadow first. I personally don't like to, depending on what kind of eyeshadow. If I'm doing a really, really dark look, I might do my eyeshadow first so I can clean it up. But this look isn't very dramatic, so I'm going to do my eyeshadow last. I'm actually going to do my eyebrows next. I just like to use a powder for my eyebrows with a angled brush like this. You can use a pencil, a gel, whatever you like. So I just like to do that. That's what I prefer, but lots of people like to do different things with their eyebrows depending on what kind of look they like. So I'm just going to keep it very subtle today. I'm going to go in with a spoolie first and just brush my eyebrows to make sure that they're in the right place. I like to brush them up first and then take my spoolie and just drag along the top to control any hairs. Same thing on this side. I'm just using a Naked Basics eyeshadow palette. I'm going to go in with this darker brown shade here. I find that matches my eyebrows the best. If you have really light eyebrows and you want to keep it as close to your hair color as possible, if you have really blonde hair, you're going to want to go a little bit darker, but not too different from your hair color. So just take a little bit on my brush and start stroking in the same direction as your hair growth. And you really just want to go over the parts that are sparse with hair. So the tail of my eyebrow fades a little bit naturally, so I'm just going to darken that up. This front part of my eyebrow is pretty thick, so I'm just going to put a little bit on. I'm not going to go over it too much, just to make sure that it's even. And again, just brushing in the direction of your hair. Good, and that's it for my eyebrow. I'm gonna do the other side. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then once I have the shadow on my eyebrows, I like to go back in with that spoolie just to brush them a little bit. It helps press the powder into your skin a little bit more and make sure that nothing is sitting on top that's going to drop down. And then finally for my eyebrows, I like to go in with just a clear eyebrow gel. You can use a colored one if you want, but I find that my eyebrows are pretty dark, so I don't have to. Just to set them in place, so it just looks like a mascara that's clear. And then just brush that onto your eyebrows the same way that you brushed it with your other spoolie, just to keep them in place. Good. And then that's it for your eyebrows. Now we're gonna get going on our eyeshadow. So I have greenish bluish eyes. I'm gonna do more of a purple toned look today, just because that color makes my eye color pop. If you have blue eyes, you can also stick to the purpley, pinky, light brown tones. If you have brown eyes, you can do a brown or gold look. I'm gonna do a smoky eye shape with just different colors. I'm gonna be using the Naked 3 palette. I'll open it up and show you. It just has pinky purpley tones. So I'll tell you what colors I'll use on that. And nice and subtle, nothing crazy. Again, it's not the time to use your bright green eyeshadow that you've been wanting to try for a very long time. Do that on your own time. For a job interview, you want to make sure that it's very professional and not overwhelming. So I'm going to start with, so for your eyeshadow, guys, you want to start with lighter colors and build the color. So you don't want to go in with the darkest color that you're going to use right away. You want to start with a little bit of a lighter shade and then build from there. I'm actually going to go in with my Modern Renaissance palette. It's well used, you can see. And just use the highlight color from there. It's almost gone. It's called Tempera. It's in the top corner here. Just to go underneath my eyebrow. I really like it for highlighting underneath the eyebrow. So I'm going to take a flatter brush and just go in right underneath the eyebrow. So just blend that in right underneath your eyebrow. It just makes the brow bone pop a little bit. And I'm also going to take that color down to the corner of my eye. And blend it a little bit onto that lid. And then now I'm going to use a fluffier brush for my crease. Again, I'm going to start with lighter colors and then work my way up to the darker ones. So I'm going to go into that Naked 3 palette. I'm going to start with, it's called Limit. It's a nice light color. It's not shimmery at all. It's just a matte color. And I'm going to build that into my crease first. So your crease is the area in your eye where it folds. So if you open your eye and you see a little bit of your eyelid, just above there is your crease. Okay, so when you put eyeshadow in your crease, you don't want to actually close your eye because it makes it hard for to see your crease. So you want to just look down a little bit. You can even just keep your eye open and gently apply that right into the crease with little circular motions. You can already see the crease starting to show a little bit more, even with that super light color. So if you were doing a brown shade, you could do a super light brown in this area. And then next I'm going to go in with kind of the same tone, just a little bit darker. So it's going to be this Nooner color right here. This one. It's still that purpley shade, but a little bit darker. I'm going to go just over top of what I did before. So building that color. Same brush. Just right in that crease the whole time. Take a little bit more. Good. And then next, I'm going to go in with the darkest shade that I'm going to use today. So I'm actually going to go all the way over to here. It's a purpley, shimmery color. It's called Dark Heart. Sorry, it was covered. So I'm going to go in with that one. I'm going to use a little bit of a smaller brush this time because I don't want to apply too much of that color. So I'm going to go in with this smaller fluffy brush and just put a little bit of that shade on my brush, tap off the excess. Then I'm just going to go right on the outside of my crease here. I'm just going to dab that on. And then I'm going to take the same brush that I was using before for my crease, the fluffier, the bigger one, and I'm going to blend that in. The more you blend, the better. You never want your makeup to look like it's just poked on your face. You want it to blend into the rest of your skin as much as possible. I'm going to take a little bit more of that lighter color that I was using before to help blend the color in that I just put on, and then just apply it right on top, all the way across the crease. Okay, now I'm going to go in on my eyelid. So I'm going to go back to that flat brush that I was using for underneath my eyebrow. And I'm going to go in with a shimmery color because you want your eyelid to pop a little bit more in any smoky eye look. So I'm going to go in with this Dust shade. I'm gonna go in with both of these ones actually. I'm gonna kind of just blend them together on my brush here, and I'm just gonna place it right on the eyelid, okay? So combine them. It's Dust and Burnout are the colors. So just tap off the excess there. And then go in right on that eyelid. So you don't want to go up towards the crease too high. Just tap it on. Especially with more shimmery shades, you don't want to wipe it on too hard because then you'll have shimmer all over your face. Kind of looks like that. Just gonna wipe underneath my eye with any excess that I had. Make sure it's blended into that crease. Now I'm going to do the underneath of my eye. So I'm going to use the same shades that I was using before, but I'm going to take them underneath the eye. I don't like a lot of shimmer under the eye, but that's just my preference. You can totally use it if you want. So I'm going to go in with the second darkest shade that I used on my crease first, that matte shade. And I'm going to go in with my smaller fluffy brush, and I'm just going to look up, and I'm going to press it right into my lower lash line here. Again, nothing too dramatic, just to make the lower lash line pop a little bit more. And I'm going to apply it on the outer 3/4 of my lower lash line. I'm going to leave the inner quarter for another color. Good, so it's just makes that lash line pop a little bit more. Now I'm going to just take a different brush because I'm using a lighter color. It's just another flat, smaller brush. And I'm going to take that shimmery color that I put on my lid, those two colors that I combined, and I'm going to apply that to the inner quarter of my lower lash line. So right in my tear duct area. Just really opens up your eye when you put a bright shimmery color in that area. Good, and then the last step for eyeshadow, I'm going to go in with my angled brush that I was using to do my eyebrows. I've wiped it off. And I'm going to use that darkest shade that I used on my outer crease. And I'm going to go along my upper lash line just to make that pop a little bit more. So it's you could also use an eyeliner in this situation. I like to use eyeshadow just because it's a little bit more forgiving. And again, you don't want to try your winged eyeliner look for the first time at a job interview. So I'll give you guys a little bit of a simpler way that you can get the same look. So just put a little bit of that darker color. You could also go in with a black eyeshadow or a dark brown in this situation. I'm going to stick to my purples. Just on the end of your brush. And again, you just want to press it into, just look down with your eye and press it right into your lash line. This just gives the illusion of a thicker lash line. And then I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush just on top of that, just to make sure that it's blended into the rest of my eyeshadow. Good, and then now you're ready for mascara. So I'm going to use the Arbonne mascara. Again, Arbonne products are just super natural. They feel good on your face for a long time. So if you're planning on wearing makeup all day, it's a great product to use. There are also a lot of other really great products out there too. Just try and stick to the ones that have really natural ingredients because those will be better for your skin. I'm just gonna go in with my mascara on my upper and lower lashes. There, and now one eye's done, and I'm gonna do the other eye. Both eyes done, we're gonna finish with a few finishing touches. I'm gonna go in with some blush and some highlighter. I'm just using the blush palette that I got from school when I went to makeup school. It just has a lot of different options. I'm just gonna go in with a really neutral blush, nothing too bright. Just put a little bit on a fluffy brush. And you wanna apply that just to the apples of your cheeks. Again, try not to rub too hard. It'll make your foundation get lines in it. Nobody wants that. A dabbing action is always a little bit better. And this is more in as opposed to your bronzer, and your contour is more towards the outside of your cheek, so your blush is closer to your nose. Perfect. And then last face step, I'm gonna go in with a highlighter. I just have the Too Faced highlighter. It has two sides to it. I just use the middle, blend them together. I'm gonna grab a fluffy brush. Some people like to use a fan brush. This one I kind of can make into a fan. I just spread it out. And with your highlighter, when you're putting it on your cheekbones, you want to go in a figure 8 pattern. It helps blend it into your the rest of your makeup a little bit better. So just put a little bit on that brush, just at the top of your cheekbone. Blend it in there. Those pop a little bit. Good, and then I like to put a little bit of highlighter on the tip of my nose and just the top of my lip. And a little bit in the middle of my forehead here. Perfect, and last but not least, lips. You can do whatever you want with your lips. I'm gonna go in with just a neutral shade today. If you wanna just wear a chapstick or a lip gloss, you can totally do that for sure. Again, probably not the right time to go in with your super dark lip shade that you wanted to try. Keep it neutral, keep it light, something that you would like to wear all day long. So I just have a lip palette here with a bunch of different shades in it. They're pretty creamy. I'm gonna go in with this top one here. It's just a super nude shade with a little lip brush. I'm not gonna use a lip liner today just because it's a very light shade, but you're more than welcome to. The shade's very similar to my lip color. And then that's it. So again, really subtle look, smokier eye, but nothing too dark or crazy, really natural face makeup and a natural lip. This will be a really great look for any job interview. You want to make sure that you also dress the part though as well. So if you're applying for any job, wear your dress pants, wear a nice shirt. If you're going to apply maybe for an athletic job, you can wear more athletic clothes. Think about the job that you're applying to decide on what you're going to wear for that day. But this will help you look the part and feel better and be super confident going into that interview.